stint. That, I think, just about covers the winners within class and within each individual race. And GPX, Nick Damon, I don't think really put a foot wrong within that. The home team get it, and it's not their car that have picked up a UAE flag, but I'm sure there will be one heading in the direction of GPX Racing.
No, it's a brilliant performance, and in many ways unexpected. I mean, no one was really tipping them prior to that. We saw the strength of the WRTs, the HRT Bilston, obviously Grasser, and some of the other teams as well, and they flew completely under the radar with a really, as you say, what actually happened was they just put in a flawless performance. They played the tactics well. They managed to get Alan Furte, who finally actually finished the 24-hour race. We heard the litany of his failures at Le Mans overnight as John was reading them out, and it was the saddest story I've heard. He drove some fantastic cars at Le Mans and never got them to the finish. He's got this car to finish, but more importantly, the 65-year-old did a large chunk of his AM time. They were the first team to recognise that the Code 6 was going to last a long time, put him in and got a large amount of it done for no time loss under Code 6. So not only had they been quick, they've also managed to put in some fantastic tactics. So really a textbook victory for not an underdog, but a surprise winner, I'd say.
Joe, thoughts as well on the TCE Series winners? Top Car Sport have beaten some big names there, but Top Car themselves becoming somebody that really is to be reckoned with within the TCR part of the race.
Well, I've got to say I'm reeling off hearing Alan Furte is 65 years old. Goodness.
And a 100% record, Joe, because he's done 2 Dubai 24 hours. He's won them both.
Has he really? That is phenomenal. I remember Alan Furte being in Formula 2 back in the 80s and stuff. Before I talk about TCE, I've just got to say, majestic is how I would describe the GPX Racing run here this year, but also the 991 class winner, the NKPP by Bas Koot and Porsche, car number 991, also quite a stealthy, majestic run. They just, those two teams never put a foot wrong. And I suppose, using that term, overly using that majestic, I can say that for Top Car Sport, because I can't remember how early it was that they went ahead of TCE in their Cupra, and they've just remained there this whole race. And when you go off on a break, doing what we do, you go off on a break, you come back, you check the timing screens, and they were there. They were there all the time. They've just never put a foot wrong. And it's all about keeping to your plan, going round and round, staying out of the pits, and hopefully, fingers crossed, in the lap of the gods, not encountering any problems. And it really was a majestic drive. Quite so. Fantastic run from Top Car.
You remember one little blip that happened for Ronnie Yost where the car ground to a halt and you and I were on, and I said, Joe, that's the TCE race leader. Yeah. And he got the car moving very quickly again. But other than that, I don't remember an issue. Certainly none of the suspension failures that a number of the other TCR cars suffered from. So there's a little bit of luck involved, but also that phrase again, pushing without risk. And you don't want to stress the car too much across 24 hours.
Yeah, and especially in the TCR class, getting those cars to perform and optimizing their performance is all about what's happened in the previous few days of getting the car set up correctly. A front-wheel drive car can completely burn its front tires off if A, it's not set up right, and B, it's not driven right. So full credit to the engineers in that team for giving those drivers a very comfortable car. You've got to get that back end rotating, you've got to get the cambers right, you've got to get the tyre pressures right,